Let's talk about federal contracting. For a lot of businesses, it sounds like this huge, untapped gold mine of opportunity. But let's be honest, it's also wrapped up in a whole lot of mystery and some seriously intimidating myths. Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise. Okay, let's dive in. And when I say gold mine, I am not kidding. I mean, look at this. Nearly $27 million in revenue in just 4 years. This isn't some fantasy. It's what's possible for businesses that actually crack the code. The potential here is just massive, but the trick is knowing how to approach it the right way.
Of course, for every amazing success story, there are probably 100 other businesses that look at the federal government and just see this impenetrable wall of red tape. You know? The endless forms, the complex regulations, the sheer size of it all. It feels so overwhelming that a lot of people just walk away before they even get started.
So let's just get right to it and tackle the biggest, most common myth of them all. The idea that the government just doesn't want to talk to you, that it's this silent, faceless machine that you can only poke through these super rigid formal channels. Yeah, that could not be further from the truth.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The government itself is actively trying to kill this myth. This memo right here, it comes straight from the White House's own Office of Management and Budget. The subject line is literally myth-busting. They want to break down these barriers and have more open conversations.
This right here gets to the heart of it. This is a huge fear for so many people. But the idea that you can't have a one-on-one conversation, it's just plain wrong. The actual rule isn't no contact, it's no preferential treatment. And believe me, that is a world of difference.
So why are they doing this? I mean, what's their motivation? It's pretty simple, actually. They want a better, faster buying process. They need to modernize how they do things. And to make that happen, they absolutely need to have dynamic conversations with industry. They need to hear from you.
Okay, so we've established the door isn't locked. Great. But how do you actually walk through it? Well, in reality, there are two main paths into the federal marketplace. You can think of them as two totally different entry points, and each one has its own playbook.
First up, you've got GSA scheduled contracts. Now, this is kind of like getting a pre-approved all-access VIP pass. Once you're on the schedule, federal agencies can buy from you super easily through a streamlined process. It's all about building long-term relationships and creating a steady, predictable stream of revenue.
The second path is what most people think of, the open market. This is your more traditional project-by-project bidding process. You see a specific opportunity, you put together a proposal, and you go head-to-head with every other qualified company out there. It's definitely more competitive, and it takes longer, but it also gives you a lot more flexibility. So here's the really crucial part. This isn't about one path being better than the other. Not at all. It's about choosing the right strategy for your business, your goals, and what you're trying to accomplish. So let's really break down the differences.
I mean, when you put them side by side, the strategic differences just pop right out. Look at procurement speed. You're talking less than 30 days for a sale on the GSA schedule versus a 4 to 6 month average cycle for an open bid. And competition? GSA is a private club of pre-approved vendors, while the open market is a total free-for-all. This is the stuff that helps you decide where to put your time and energy.
All right, so you've thought about your strategy. Now let's talk about what to avoid. Because no matter which path you choose, there are some really common landmines that can completely blow up your efforts before you even get going. Knowing what they are, well, that's half the battle. Let's start with the GSA path. 40%. Just let that number sink in for a second. A staggering 40% of initial GSA applications get rejected. That's almost 1 out of every 2. And you know why? Almost always, it's because of mistakes that were totally avoidable.
And here they are, the main culprits. The number one issue, by a long shot, is price reporting errors, basically not getting your commercial pricing disclosures right. Then you've got TAA violations. That means using products from non-approved countries. And finally, picking the wrong special item number, or SIN, which is just the official category for what you sell. These few mistakes cause most of the rejections.
But here's the flip side, and this is a total game changer. Companies that get professional help with their GSA application, they see a 92% higher success rate on their very first try. This isn't about cheating the system, it's just about knowing the rules inside and out and getting it right from day one.
Okay, now for the federal bidding path. The mistakes here are a little different, but they're just as deadly.
First, you have to align your entire proposal with their evaluation criteria. Don't guess what they want, give them exactly what they're asking for. Second, prove you can do the job with solid records of your past work. And third, this one is so simple but trips up so many people, keep your registration in the System for Award Management, or SAM, up to date. If it's expired, you're out. Instantly.
And then you've got the universal deal breakers. I'm talking about tiny document formatting mistakes, using the wrong font, going over the page limit. Things that seem small can get your entire proposal thrown in the trash without anyone ever reading it. And today, if you can't meet the government's really strict cybersecurity standards, you'll see acronyms like NIST, FedRAMP, and CMMC. It is an absolute non-starter.
So after all that, what's the big picture here? It's that selling to the government is not some adversarial game of gotcha. It's actually a pretty transparent marketplace with very clear rules. The opportunity is real, and it's not just for the giant corporations with names you already know.
If you need a little more motivation, just think about this for a second. Over $50 million in opportunities fly by every single day. That's the real cost of sitting on the sidelines. That's the potential business you could be missing out on. Maybe because you're still hung up on some of those myths we just busted.
Because here's the truth. Once you pull back the curtain on all the bureaucracy and the misconceptions, you find a system that is designed to be accessible. Success isn't about some secret handshake. It's about understanding the rules, picking the right strategy for you, and then executing it perfectly. That gold mine really is within your reach.
So the only real question left is the one you have to ask yourself. Now that the picture is clearer, you know the reality, you know the paths, you know the pitfalls, it's time to think strategically. Which path makes the most sense to take your business to that next level?
Hi, I'm Nancy, and I hope I enticed you to learn more about the longest and easiest long-term contract to get. Act now, visit marketus.com and schedule a no-obligation call to see if it is right for you.